Hi, lovelies! Welcome back to the That's Your Hair channel. If you want to look as amazing as we do, check out Kayama. They are the ones who dressed us. We'll put the link on the description below. And Kama Dawa, we have amazing content, educative content made specifically for you. Stay tuned and hope you guys like it. So today's topic is big chopped hair versus transitioned hair. What do we mean by big chopped hair? This is when you decide to chop all of your hair off and start afresh. And by transitioned hair, it means you move from one type of hair to another. This could be from healthy hair to relaxed hair. It could be from healthy hair to locked hair, or it could be from damaged natural hair to healthy hair. So the first question goes to the group. What route did you guys use in your hair journey?
What do you mean by what route?
Okay. Let us start with who did a big chop?
I did a big chop. I did it too.
Could you please explain to us your experience?
I did a big chop. I did a big chop because I dyed my hair and the ends were dead and I kept on getting split ends and I didn't like how the job was done, so I opted to chop my hair because I'm such a lazy natural. Chopping the hair was easier than transitioning because of all the fallout. My experience with chopped hair has been more like a love-hate relationship. I used to love how cute and fresh and healthy the curls looked, but it was so difficult to look feminine and girly, and even when I put in braids it used to stick out because my ends weren't really cooperating. But we're here now and I think this length is so much better because it's healthier, it's cuter, it's black as it should be. And I'm proud.
You also did a big chop? Okay. What was your experience?
So I had the big chop last year. It was just like trying to try out a new style, and I was really excited about it. I mean, it was something that was on my mind for a while. So when I finally tried it, to my surprise, I didn't like it. Okay, for the first day I was okay. I was fine because I was really confident when I was doing it. Then the next day I wake up, I'm like, damn, where is my hair? And everyone else is just shocked because I just did it out of the blues. I didn't tell anyone. Everyone was just like, yo, where's your hair? Where's your hair? And that's also that like tampered with my mind because everyone had noticed. So, but I just had to embrace it and all that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you do the big chop because you had damaged hair, or you did the big chop because you wanted to experiment on something?
Actually, I didn't have damaged hair. It was just perfect. I just wanted to try it out.
Oh, okay.
Just curiosity. Yeah.
The cat.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
Who else did a big chop? You also did a big chop?
Yeah, so I did a big chop a few years ago. It wasn't because my hair was unhealthy. It was, but that wasn't the point. It was just transitioning my life. I was coming from a breakup, so
Hot girl season.
guys, you can't tell me you've not related. So my hair was a little damaged, but that was the push for me. And I was used to having a lot of shrinkage, so it wasn't weird. I wasn't like, oh my god, I look like this in short hair. It was, oh, okay. I mean, sour. And also, like, my face was so round, I was a bit chubby. So I liked it. I liked the experience. The waking up without having to, the sleeping also, guys. I didn't have to wrap my hair. I didn't have to do matutas. It's just wash and go like a boy, So I liked it. So that's why I did it.
Okay. Rita? So that's we've heard from guys who've done the big chop. Let us hear from guys who've done different types of transitioning. Transitioning from natural hair, damaged natural hair, to healthier natural hair.
I decided to transition because I didn't want that awkward length face, and I was really already comfortable with the length. But because of the heat damage, I knew I had to, do something about it. So yeah, I transitioned slowly until to the point where my hair, the healthy part, got to the point where it was the length I was okay with. So I chopped, and then I chopped off the dead ends after.
After you got the length that you wanted?
Almost. Like, it was still awkward, but it was comfortable, yeah.
So let's hear from guys who transitioned from natural hair to permanent locks.
So I decided to transition from natural hair to permanent locks because I thought having locks meant less stress, which is a lie. Whoever told me that lied to me. So I had damaged hair because I used to use a lot of gel in terms of styling my hair, move it and stuff. So it kind of weakened my hair, and I didn't like the ends that I had. They were so weak. So I decided instead of doing a big chop, then I might as well as switch to another type of hairstyle that I thought was a bit easier.
Heartbreak or what?
No, mine was just like random. I had
And one day, lock this hair.
no, it wasn't because of heartbreak. I just decided I was tired with trying to comb my hair and stuff. So I switched to something that I thought was easier to maintain. Yeah, which is not the case, because the amount of effort that you put on taking care of natural hair that you're combing is the same amount of effort that you're going to put on taking care of natural hair that is permanent locks. Yeah.
That makes sense.
We also have another group of transitioned hair from natural hair to relaxed hair. So let's hear about that.
So I've had relaxed hair for 2 years now, and my whole point of transitioning to relaxed hair was just to, the way you see people with silky straight hair, and you're like, why not me? Why do I have to have kinky ends and all that? And then throughout high school, I was a serious natural type of girl with the natural hair and all that. I never used to use heat and all that. So I think after that, I was just tired. And then I'm like, even me, I want silky straight hair. And then one day I just woke up and was like, this is it. I can just do it. Yeah. And I think so far I'm loving it with no dead ends, nothing. It's just silky. I can go for 3 days without combing hair. It's less stress.
Must be nice.
But yeah. But then it also takes a lot of effort. Like, you think it's silky, so that's it. You just sleep, wake up, style, and go. But then you need to do a lot of work, because I didn't even have like a routine. I had natural, healthy hair, probably from genes and whatnot. But then now I need to have a routine, how to make sure I retain moisture and it's not dry. And what is it called? Like losing hair when shedding, to make sure like I follow up like the amount of hair that is shedding during a specific time, or when I've done like a protective hairstyle after what goes on. But yeah, I think I'm loving the journey so far. I'm not yet ready to transition back. Yeah.
So
I have to issue. You say, okay, we all know that when it comes to putting chemical on your hair, that means you need to deal with breakage frequently. What do you do to avoid that much breakage when it comes to when you're taking care of your hair?
I try and make sure like first the hair needs to be clean constantly. Like your routine of how you clean your hair, it needs to be like a set routine. And then I try and stretch out my... So in the 2 years that I've had relaxed hair, I've only relaxed it twice. So I don't do it as much as people say like after every 6 months.
I try and stretch it out a bit. When I see there's like too much growth or breakage, now that's when I go into doing protective hairstyles to try and fix that before I think about relaxing it again. And then treatment. So every time I do a wash, deep conditioner needs to be your friend, your best friend, and leave-in and all that. Yeah.
So we also have people who've had some fun with their hair through their big chop phases and their transitioning phases. So let us hear more about that.
So when I was in high school, I had natural hair throughout. I really liked my hair then, but then it was boring. It was just black. So the first time I dyed my hair, I used a box dye. It was very low quality, but the color was good. It was too good. So I did that. I went to another color. I think it was Revlon. That was brown. So it came out like a burgundy type of color. And then afterwards, I started experimenting with Cream of Nature, and now I'm trying to go back to my healthy hair. Yeah, and I liked my journey. It's been 2 years of colored hair, and I've loved it. Some tough times though. They never lasted though.
All right. So we've heard from guys who've had clear lines on the big chop and the transitioning. Let us hear from people who've never done a big chop or a transition.
Okay, for me, growing up, like what my mom used to do to my hair, if I can remember, was only cornrows and straightening. But right now, I'm more intentional with my hair because I can do protective hairstyles and also avoid heat. Yeah.
So would you say your hair is healthier now than from when you were a kid?
Yes, I'll say it's healthier, more healthier than before. Yeah.
Okay, let us move on to the next type of person who's never transitioned or big chopped.
Okay, so for me, I've never big chopped or transitioned. My mom would leave my hair like a big afro. It was so huge. I prefer it that way. When I grew up, I have been trying to look for ways to manage my hair, protective styles. Sometimes I do blow dries. Ndio iko at least rahisi kuchana. Now that has made it equal. I don't know. I call them split ends or what. But I'm trying to, trim. Though big chop imepitia akili yangu, but no, I'm pushing it away. Yeah, imepita by the way. I've been, nikate kidogo, nianze fresh. Juu najua itamea tena. But no. I'll just trim. As you can see right now, at least inakaa better. Sindio? Yeah. Last time, ilikuwa transparent. Mtu angeona huko. But it's cause nimekuwa nikiblow dry na pia I am a very lazy natural. Nitaeka braids nikae nazo for 2 months. Na prefer hivyo honestly, but of course I wash after 2 weeks. But I just don't want to deal with my natural hair juu it's a lot, ni afro kubwa na kuichana ilikuwa ina take 2 days. If I'm going to wear my afro kesho lazima nianze kuchana leo. So yeah, so I'm trying to get rid of these split ends. See split ends though, sindio? Yeah, exactly, not really. Yeah, but for now inaka better. I trimmed, so I want it to be part of my routine. Yeah, nimeona at least inanipatia good results, so I'll keep doing it. Yeah.
Can I add on something that she's saying?
Sure.
Sorry. Okay, so most of the time, guys, it's what I learned is it's not usually split ends. Even if you can see through your hair, you probably just have thin hair. And thin hair is not bad because I've always had thin hair and it used to make me self-conscious about my afro. So it's how you style it, 1, and 2, it's not always split ends. How to know if you have split ends? It's like when your hair is wet and if it's long, like if it's straight at the bottom, then that's unhealthy. Yeah, because your hair should be nafaa kushrink. So yeah, that ilinisaidia kukua very okay about my afro. and about my natural hair. So that it's not split ends. It's not that it's unhealthy.
Now, just to clarify on the split ends point, another way that you can notice this is if, let's say, you look at one strand of hair and it's been divided to 2 or 3. So that's also another way of identifying it.
So it should be just one.
Yeah, it should be one.
There's like a knot.
Yeah.
All right. So on the through natural hair journey, there's one thing that is always constant, and that is protective styling. So let us touch on some long-term protective styling, i.e. temporary locks.
So my journey with temporary locks has been fun and easy at the same time because I'm a very lazy person. Sikuwe personal. Tuseme ningekuwa na shuka braids. Ningekaa until mtu aniambie, hey, your hair looks bad. That's when I'll take it out. That's when I'll take it out. For real. Otherwise, it will stay on my head. So, putting temporary locks is very convenient. You wake up, just have to tie it. Okay, haina a way of just, santa semaje, like braids you have to put in a certain way. It is kind of smart and aesthetically beautiful. So locks you just do an updo or just leave them the way they are. Alafu they are very lightweight, so I don't feel nikaa nimebeba kitu kwa kichwa. Kitu kaa hiyo. And then it's easy to see your hair growing from like ukifanywa retouch. You'll just see your hair imemea like an inch or more kidogo tu. So it's easy to note na
Is the retouch process painful?
okay, it depends on what you want to do. There's waxing and interlocking.
So yours is?
Interlocking.
Is it painful?
Yes. Okay, not that painful. Si ya kuchachisha.
Just uncomfortable.
Like
Yeah.
braids? Yeah. Is it like braids?
You just crochet is different. Yeah. Interlocking is like okay, ni kama crochet. You put the crochet, but you put it inside. Yeah.
Interlocking inakaa uchungu.
It's not that painful, but it depends on what you want.
Is it the same thing that mtu mwenye ameshuka braids? Because unajua when you have braided your hair pia kuna that's
Naona kama unashukwa lines. Okay, mi sipendi lines personally juu chungu. Yeah.
ina depend
But then inapenda mkono ya mtu mwenye anakushuka.
Ina depend by the end of the day. Because I do my own hair and my salon is so witchcraft.
So it depends na Kenya which method you use. Yeah.
All right. So we also have the short-term protective styles that everyone should be considering when they're doing their transitions or their big chops. So let us touch a little bit more on that.
So for me, my number one go-to style on my head is normally braids. I used to experiment on different types of box braids, like, you know, the kawaida ones, like the ones that are just being fixed. The knots now, I don't like it at all. It's painful, it's unnecessary, it's actually not cute, because why? How will you know?
Yeah.
But knotless is literally the way. But you have to be careful not to go past 3 weeks, because it can damage your hairline, and it's still anything that stresses your hair, whether it's good in your form or anything, it still be bad at the end of the day.
I have a question. Is it about the duration of the braids or the care for it?
Both.
I think it depends with like the length of the hair.
Both actually.
It depends.
I was saying both factors are important in it, because duration, the more it stays, is build up. So build up stresses the roots of your hair, and then if it's what's the other thing you said? Duration and care. So if you don't moisturize it every week,
it will just fall out.
oh yeah.
Keep it for longer if I'm caring for it longer.
Yes, you can. But then remember, build up. You can never wash your hair perfectly or in braids. So yeah.
Okay.
The next question.
So, what were the advantages and disadvantages of the big chop for those who have done the big chops?
Oh, okay. So, I think what I really loved about my big chop was seeing myself in a new hairstyle. It was so different. I grew up with really long hair. So finally letting go of that hair, Anya was at the end of the road. Yeah, so it was nice to see myself in a new light, even though yes, I'd seen myself in a tiny afro before, but not that tiny. Two, the curls. Wow, the curls. Oh, wow. And also it's less work. It's less stressful.
I swear.
No, okay, one thing about me, I love taking care of my hair, but that time I didn't have to. So I was like, sawa, I don't have to do the matutas to bed, I don't have to do this. Yeah, so it was way easier to deal with it. Yeah, so I loved everything. Like, guys, there's nothing like looking at your old photos when you had short hair and right now. Nangalanga tu hizo picha za 2018 girl, you don't know. So yeah, I really loved it. Still, I don't know if I'd recommend it for everyone, but just do it when you're ready, because I was ready to do it. So
Let's touch on the disadvantages.
So the disadvantages, I really had a rough time. When people know like you used to have long hair and then they're seeing you with a short hair, everyone is just surprised while seeing you. Now that just makes you feel bad. And then there are these people, while you had the long hair, they never used to compliment it. Oh, you look good, Nini. But now when you had the cut, they're like, and the way you had long hair, and the way your hair was big, you would have done. I'm like, where were you when it was long? Why are you coming right now when I had made my decisions? So, but me, I'd say the best thing to have at that time when you decide to have a big chop is patience. You also really need to embrace your hair. Like, it's okay to have a chop. Just embrace it, take care of it, love it. I mean, it's your hair. So you just have to take care of it, be patient, and also take care of it. You can use the protective hairstyles. You can just be patient. Though sometimes you'll always be like, has my hair grown? Has my hair grown? You're trying to compare. But if you just do the right things, you're going to see the change. And you're going to be happy. And don't let people like
Get into you.
Get into you, because it will make you less confident with your hair. And that's not something good. So just wear your crown, whether you have a short afro, whether you have a long afro. It's yours.
That's
I have a question. Yeah. How long when was the last time you cut your hair?
It was actually last year.
Are you serious?
January.
No way.
I cut it. It was here.
Tell us your secret.
It has been an year.
It's been a year. Your hair looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Tell us your secret, please.
Okay, at that time when I had the chop, I was really confused. Like, I didn't know what to do. So to say the truth, I was using these natural ways of making your hair grow. Honestly, So me, I used to do the cloves one. Like, it really works. Like magic. The clove one.
What do you mean, like
cloves?
As in the cloves.
Do you mean like you create a hair mask for your hair using cloves?
Something like that. You just.
What did you do? How did you create the mixture?
You take cloves, you just put them in cloves.
The plant.
Yeah. Then in a cock of food.
Cloves.
Exactly. So you just put them in water and you boil them. So that water your magia, your cloves, you just take it and put it in a spray bottle. So every day, just spray it to the roots and massage your hair.
Even rice water, by the way.
And
Rice water smells so bad.
Rosemary water, guys. Yeah, it works. Also, rice water, it works.
Yeah,
though
but it
I
smells
don't-
like pure.
So what you do, you just add oil,
And oil.
yeah, like coconut oil, so that the smell can't. Even there's one for onions. The onions really can smell. Yeah.
Can you imagine onions on your head?
Yeah. So yeah, you won't have friends. Who wants to stay with someone?
Long hair, but no friends.
Yeah, you just stay alone for a while. So I was using those natural ways, and the one for cloves, it worked because my hair was really short. I started from scratch, but now you can see the difference.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm still on it. I'm still taking care of my hair. So by this year, by end of this year,
Yes.
can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Wait for me, I'm coming.
Kwanza with their products.
Yeah, with the products, I mean, why not? Yeah.
Can I add on something? When she was talking about patience, I remembered about my transition from natural hair to dreadlocks. Hey, God, I don't even. It really needs patience. There's something people with dreads know. We call it ugly face. It's that face that your hair inakaa ni kama nyoya paka imenyeshewa. I swear. It's like just take a puppy or cat, put it in drain, and then that's how your hair looks like when you're starting off.
That's so foul.
But it's true. So you depend on extensions and stuff, and it's even after when your hair looks a bit puffy, when it's short, it stands. So it looks like you have toothpicks on your looks like you have toothpicks on your head. So for people who have transitioned from natural hair to dreadlocks, God, it takes a lot of patience for you to say, like, now I can wear my dreadlocks like that without any extensions or without holding them back and walking. It's like, for me, I think I started putting it on like this last week, and it's a year and a half ever since I put my dreadlocks. Yeah.
Wow.
So the only time I felt like I let it down and I felt like I'm confident that I look beautiful with this type of hair was last week. So you need, if you decide to transition from natural hair to dreadlocks, you need to be patient. That is one thing you need.
Do I need to start from scratch?
No, you don't need to start from mine was a decision that I made. There are people who buy dreadlocks. It's like, you see the people who have layered their dreadlocks for 7 years and they decide to chop and sell. So you can take dreadlocks and then attach to your hair, and then you continue from there.
You can't.
I started locking my hair like that, but that means you're starting from scratch. It doesn't have to mean your hair is short. It just means you're starting without extensions.
It's so nice.
Yes.
Your hair is long.
No, and then there are people who go for Nyawira's way, in that they put temporary locks, but instead of unlocking the locked hair, they continue with it. So by the time they're removing the extensions, their locks are already long. And then there are people who are like me, who decided like it's just from scratch, and maybe piece extensions, or just taking extensions that after 3 or 2 weeks I take them out. So it depends with which route you're taking, but regardless, you still have to be patient with that journey, because before locks zikuwe nono and zianguke, takes time.
Locks are so bad.
So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of transition hair from unhealthy natural hair to healthy natural hair?
I think for me, a huge advantage was that I didn't have to cut it off. I didn't have to have a length. You see, like for them, since they cut off their hair, they experience that, the questions from people, the remarks. I don't think at the time I was transitioning, I was mentally stable enough to handle remarks and comments. So I'm glad that I didn't chop it off, because I wouldn't have taken it well. So singe persevere. So that was a huge advantage for me. It also, I don't know. Yeah, I think that was actually the only advantage. For disadvantages, hey, ni nyingi. Because now you're dealing with 2 hair types. And you don't want to cut it off, so you don't want it to look bad. But it can't look as healthy as the healthy hair. So trying to find products that, make a good balance for both the damaged hair and the healthy hair you're growing. And I think that's all.
What of the advantages and disadvantages of relaxed hair?
I think, as I said before, the main advantage needs to be that combing process and whatnot. I remember the first time I did it, like I was not going anywhere that week. So until like the 4th day, that's when I was like, oh guys, I didn't even comb my hair. But then when you just run your fingers through, it's just going through. There's no oh no, now I need to detangle. You need a whole process when you think of leaving the house. That's the main advantage for me. And the silkiness, the way it looks silky, and you can just wear it out like that easily. The disadvantage is, that first, after having the relaxer in, and then when it's washed, you're used to your hair being so thick. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, okay, in a car, the way they put it, like makamasi. So you can't even, someone from a distance, they'll be like, do you shave your hair? Because now, kwanza, when I put it in a ponytail, now the first few months, even Yuma, someone can't see from naona tu forehead, no hair. Yeah, so there's that, if you're not ready for it, it can be, it can, it'll be triggering. And then your self-esteem, because now you're used to having, the thick African hair that everyone can see. That's the main disadvantage, I'd say. Yeah.
All right.
I have a question. Yeah. So a lot of people say when you chemically treat your hair, it's going to cut off, it's going to fall off. How do you deal with that? You don't experience it at all, like breakage?
I do. For me to start, last year, I'd say I only braided my hair twice or thrice the whole year. So I experienced breakage. That's why this year I'm choosing to have more protective hairstyles before I decide to relax it again. So there's that. And then there are times now my salonist, every time I go to him, then he's like, now you need to do something. This shading is too much. And then he shows you no, was it a wrong decision? Did I have to do it? But then they just say you need to make sure it's moisturized all the time, even in protective hairstyles, because for relaxed hair, it tends to get so dry, especially now the way the weather is currently in Nairobi. Now you have more chances. And the minute it's dry, that reassures you that you're going to have breakage a lot. So moisture, that needs to be key thing, a key ingredient. You need to make sure all the time your hair is properly moisturized and clean. I don't know how they associate it with when it's dirty, you get more shedding and breakage. So there's clean, make sure it's clean and well moisturized, and treat it properly.
All right, so you've heard it. It's possible to have healthy, relaxed hair. So I'm going to touch on now. Let's say you've big chopped. What next? How do I take care of it? So I'd say, from my experience, the first half of the year, do nothing to your hair. Just let it breathe. Let it grow at its own rate. I'd say always definitely have a bonnet to protect your hair. Moisturize your hair and wash it. Keep it clean. Then towards the second half of the year, that's when your growth is going to come in. Your hair is going to be longer. So that's when you can start experimenting with your protective stylings, the twist outs, the braids, the braid out, and the likes. But you still have to have a consistent hair care routine for yourself. Also, I'd like to point out that in your big chop phase, that's when you can experiment on your hair. Color it, try some interesting type of cut. I did a tapered cut for myself. You can decide to just go crazy. Have a good time. While it lasts, because it's gonna grow eventually. But just have a good time with it. So the next thing is how to take care of transitioned hair, or have we already touched on that?
When I was transitioning when I was younger, that was between, I'd chemicalized my hair for a really long time, and then after that I dyed it, and then after that it was just heat. So what I did was, since I didn't want to cut my hair that young, because kids can be ruthless, you know, so, and plus I had really long hair, so I was like, okay, I didn't even know what transitioning was, so I was like, my hair is looking a bit weird. And my mom is also a very big naturalist, so she was helping me. For, I think, 2 whole years, from class 8 to when I was in year 10, I was just braiding my hair. Braiding. So by the time I joined a new school, everyone was wowed by the length that I had retained. So my hair actually transitioned without me even noticing that it was not as healthy, because I was just braiding for the sake of, you know. So yeah, I'd say if you're transitioning, you know, the split ends at the bottom, you know,
Don't be afraid.
protective styles, yes. And as she said, moisturize. Water is your friend. Water is your best friend. Usiogope maji. Use water and moisturize. I didn't know that back then. So all I used to do is taking care of my scalp, which a lot of people neglect. So scalp care, moisturizing, and protective styles. So that's how I transitioned.
Dreadlocks are a form of protective hairstyles, but people with dreads, we also lose hair to the point when your hair thins at times. So I didn't know, because there's a time I moisturized my hair, and then I used a conditioner, and then a salonist told me not to, because conditioners tend to make your hair softer, and we need our hairs rough.
Oh, for your dreads.
Yes, but I was doing some research ever since I started, like, okay, now I want to take care of my hair, like, full on. I did some research about how to take care of dreads, and surprisingly, we are supposed to deep condition our hair regularly to avoid the breakage. Yes. So at the end of the, because deep conditioners retain your moisture. So that means you need to moisturize your hair. Dreadlocks, for the people who have dreadlocks, you moisturize your hair, take care of your scalp. And then sometimes even the waxing bit is not as important. As long as you take care of your hair, and your hair has constant moisture, then that means you're going to prevent the breakage and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so there you have it. Which route would you choose? Would you go the big chop route? Would you transition into permanent locks, temporary locks? Would you transition to relaxed hair? Or would you move from unhealthy natural hair to healthy natural hair? So it's up to you, whatever works for you. We've given you the information that will help you with your journey.
So it's been a very nice session. I think we really had fun, and we hope that the topics that we bring to you guys are beneficial. And if you have any topic that you feel like you want us to discuss about that is going to help you with your hair journey, then don't be shy. Comment it down up in our comment section. We're always putting you up. You're always a priority when it comes to the content and the products we make. Yeah. So until next time. Bye.